Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NSCS Third General Meeting.
Hello, I'm the treasurer. My name is Angel Shibu, and my major is biology pre-PA, and I'm a senior. And a fun fact about me is I love to travel.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Amira. I am the new VP of Social Media. I am a biology major pre-med. I'm also minoring in Spanish and chemistry. I'm a third year. And a little fun fact about me is that I have a mechanical valve. So if we ever have class together and we have a test, you're going to hear some ticking. But yeah, also I'm excited to be here.
Hello again, everyone. So for this month, we have potentially 2 community service opportunities for you all. So the first one is that you can make a difference in the Denton community. The city of Denton offers numerous locations for you all to volunteer, which includes the animal shelter here in Denton, the library, and there's multiple parks. If you follow the link that I've listed here in this slide, then it will actually give you the opportunity to select which opportunity you're interested in. So you can find something that suits your interests and suits your schedule, and you can volunteer in your own time. And lastly, the Lowry Woods Community Center is going to be hosting a street cleanup event. However, the date and time for that is to be determined. I will be posting in the group chat and the group me when that date is finalized. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're not already a member of the group me, make sure you join.
The graduation cord form deadline is on November 19th. The cords are free of cost, and the cords will be delivered to your address within 2 weeks max. The requirements to get a cord is you have to be an active member.
All right, yay. All right, so this Friday, we're going to have a Christmas party going on. It's going to be really fun. We're going to make some DIY ornaments. As you see in the PowerPoint, we have some examples that I'm going to kind of use as a reference. But yeah, we'll be at the MCL building, room 504, and it'll be from 4:30 to 6. Hope to see y'all there.
So we also have a holiday donation drive, and this is for the Tarrant Area Food Bank. It will be on December 1st, 2021 from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., and the location is still to be decided.
This is my event. I had to change the location, day, and time because I didn't realize that the university has a requirement of no events during finals week, which I actually kind of appreciate. So it will definitely be towards the end of November, but I will definitely let y'all know and update it before the next meeting.
And then some upcoming meetings is the 4th and last general meeting of the semester, which would be November 23rd, 8 a.m. All meetings will, as usual, be posted on YouTube at 8 a.m. the day of the meeting. And make sure to comment for attendance.
So I know some of y'all responded to the survey I sent in the group me a couple weeks ago, and most of y'all are nursing majors or affiliated with the nursing program. So I wanted to recruit a speaker that could help y'all a little bit, give you some information. So I recruited Olivia Hayes. She is the Houston Career Consultant for Nursing, Physical Therapy, Occupational Therapy, and Health Administration. So I just have a couple questions here. The first one is, what would a pathway for a travel nurse look like?
All right. Well, good evening to all of you. I'm so happy to be here. As she mentioned, my name is Olivia Hayes. I currently serve as the career consultant for the Houston campus. And so, if you have intentions or if you have plans on transferring into the Houston campus, I look forward to seeing you all when that time comes. And so, in regards to travel nursing, and as far as the other one, what was the other one that you affiliated with?
I have a couple. I was like, do they have specialties for nursing? What does that look like? And do you have any advice to like prevent burnout or any advice in general for applying for jobs? And then also like, what does that process look like? Is there a general like thing they do to apply for jobs, or does it depend on what you want to do?
Okay. So you want to start with the first question?
Yeah.
Okay. And so could you read it for me one more time?
Yes. What would a pathway for a travel nurse look like?
So a pathway for a travel nurse, and you guys are going to be very familiar when you actually get into your nursing school. So I'm sure you all are familiar that when you get into J1, J2, S1, S2, you're going to have different clinical professors, which technically serve as some of your faculty that will be in front of you. But one thing that I want you guys to remember is that your faculty, they're probably going to steer you away from doing certain things. One of them being home health. As far as travel nursing, I mean, I'm very biased about it. I think, especially with where we are right now in the world, I think, travel nursing, it's going. And so I think that personally with travel nursing, it really just depends on your experience. So for example, coming straight out of a BSN program, I would not recommend that. And I don't even think that you would even be able to apply to become a travel nurse straight out of your program. So probably giving yourself at least maybe 1 to 2 years where you're actually hands-on, you're on the floor, you're actually gaining those skills, and then possibly going in and signing on for a travel nursing contract. So I'm not sure what that looks like for all of you prior to you guys getting ready to, make that transition to going to, one of the main campus or one of the external campuses. But hopefully by the time you guys graduate, the stipulations could potentially be different and the qualifications and things like that could potentially be different.
Okay. And then our second question is, are there specialists for nursing, and how do those look?
Are there specialists?
Specialties.
Specialties. Okay.
Yes.
So as far as specialties, let me ask you this. Do you guys kind of have an idea of what field you guys want to go into? Meaning, like, for example, I have some S2 students that I'm working with, and some of them actually have a passion for oncology, or some of them have a passion for pediatrics or NICU. So it really just depends. And so if you guys, feel free to unmute yourself and kind of, just kind of say or your interest in what area you guys are wanting to go into.
I think NICU is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm also wanting to go into occupational therapy for pediatrics. So that's always been a big thing for me.
Okay. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
I would probably say same thing. Like, I'm just interested in pediatrics.
Okay. So one thing that I encourage you, and I'm probably going to say some things to you that you probably didn't think of, but one thing that I would say is, as far as specialties or as far as like different areas, when you guys get to that point and you get into J1 and you're getting ready to be placed for your clinicals, I really encourage all of you that once you receive your placement and once you actually are on the floor, begin to journal about your experiences that you're encountering as you're going into your clinicals. And the reason being is because, for example, once you make that transition to S2, okay, that means that you're about to graduate. And so, for example, if you were to come in and say, well, Olivia, I have an interview, but I don't know what I need to talk about, your clinical experience is going to be a pivotal point or a pivotal conversation that you want to make sure that you have. And so I really encourage you to journal. Okay, start journaling because, of course, you're going to transition throughout the different units. You're going to have different experiences. You're going to have different patients. You're going to have different preceptors. You're going to have different, people on your units. So, of course, going to different hospitals, you're going to have different experiences. So, I really encourage you to journal throughout your clinical experiences, because then that's going to allow you to be able to look within to see what works and what you have an interest in. And so I know each of you are different, but like I said, it's going to be completely different when you actually get into the field. So, for example, is it Anum?
Yes, that's me.
Yes. So, for example, you say the NICU and things like that are interesting, right? So let's just say, for example, you are placed in a NICU unit and you're like, oh, I didn't think this is what I expected it to be, right? You can always do those reflections to say, okay, well, on this day at this hospital, it was a pretty bad day, or, what so have you. So those journaling experiences will be able to follow you. And then from there, you can kind of look within. But as far as nursing, you have different areas. Okay, so you have med surg, you have NICU, you have ICU, you have different, oncology. You also have different, I guess you could say, like, levels to it. So, for example, I have some students where they're like, I want to be a nurse manager. Okay, that is where you're a nurse manager and you're managing your own unit. And, you're doing the hiring, you're doing the firing and things like that. But of course, when you get to that point, you have to have certain qualifications and things like that. But of course, you have nurse practitioner. So you have those different qualifications that you will need to identify as well. You just have different elements. So I really encourage you to start thinking now. Okay, really start thinking now of what realm or what area you're wanting to go into, because as you're getting into, as you're going into the external campuses, that's going to be very important, because you want to make sure that your experience is relatable to what you're doing when you go to your clinicals.
Thank you. And another question is how to prevent burnout, and what might you suggest to mitigate the effects of burnout?
I'm going to keep it real with y'all, like I keep it real with my students. You are going to be tired. Okay. You're going to be tired, and, it's going to be a transition, because not only are you coming from just having classes, different hours, but when you get to nursing school, it's almost like you have classes. You have classes certain days of the week, but most importantly, you have your clinicals that you also have to think about. So, for example, you could have class on Mondays, but then you have clinicals, and you have to be clinicals at 6 a.m. and you're doing clinicals from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then you still have assignments that you still have to get done on top of you have to do your stuff for your clinical. So I really can't say that, and I'm not going to say you can't prevent burnout. But one thing that I do want you guys to remember is take care of yourself, most importantly. I honestly can say that just based off of my conversations with some of my students, they stick together. So really find 2 or 3 people, stick together as a group. If a handful of you are going to the Dallas campus, have a buddy system. If some of you are going to the Houston campus, have a buddy system, because I think that that's going to be very important, where you're going to develop those friendships, you're going to develop those relationships. But most importantly, take care of yourself, prioritize your tasks very, very well. So, for example, test days are on Mondays. Okay, when you get to the campuses, test days are on Mondays, and I think you have a test every week. Okay, so if you know that you have a test every Monday, then you need to be studying, prioritize your schedule to where, you're studying certain days of the week so that you can get ready for test day on Monday. Also communicate with your advisor. The advising style is going to be a little bit different once you guys transition to the Houston and Dallas campus, but make sure that you communicate with your advisor if you're needing help. Utilize the Pioneer Center. How many of you actually utilize the Pioneer Center on the main campus? It's okay if you don't, but yeah, but just try to utilize your different resources that the campus has to offer for you. Um, I'm a resource for you as well. As I mentioned, I am a career consultant. So just a prime example, when you guys get to S2 leadership, okay, you have a resume assignment, and you have some students where they come in and they don't know the different elements of what is required on a resume. So they come and they make appointments with me. We have nursing resume templates, so for you all as well. And then we also help with mock interviewing. So, for example, my S2 students are getting ready to go into nurse residency programs. So that's also something that you guys want to think about. Your nurse residency programs, it's kind of like getting a job, but as you're getting ready to graduate, you're going to look at those residency requirements and start applying for those residencies so that when you get ready to graduate, you have everything set up. And so one of the things right now that my senior students are dealing with, and these are the students that are about to graduate, is that they're burnt out. Okay, because of everything that they've gone through up until now, and they're trying to graduate. But most importantly, they're trying to find a job. So start early. So if you don't have a resume, you may want to start early, because you may want to get a nurse externship. You just, but start early on things like that. So for example, start figuring out how to develop your resume. And then most importantly, just kind of figure out what it is you want to do. Okay. Because if you don't know what you want to do, then it makes it hard for you as you get ready to go through nursing school. Okay. You don't want to be that senior where you're getting ready to graduate and you're like, I just don't know what I want to do. And it's like, you're about to walk across stage. So, so definitely have a plan, but definitely prioritize your schedule. Okay. I don't know you guys' learning style. I don't know your study habits, but we have students where they meet and they utilize all of the resources on campus. So really, really just think about taking care of yourself first, but most importantly, prioritizing your schedule, because you're going to have some long days and some long nights. We also on the Houston campus, if you guys don't eat, we have, services where we provide you guys food. We have like Taco Tuesday where we'll have like breakfast tacos for our nursing students as well as our PT/OT students. So there are different things that you will learn about as you guys get ready to make that transition to either the Dallas or the Houston campus.
Thank you. And one more question. Can you describe like the general process? Because I know you mentioned residency and the different specialties that they can go in. So what's the general process when they are about to graduate to getting a job?
That's a great question. So the process for that is, so for example, each hospital is completely different as far as their deadlines, meaning when their nurse residency applications open, as well as when their nurse residency applications close. And so typically, depending on the hospital, the application may be up for about a week. And like I said, it really just depends. And so that's why I really want you to get started early, because, for example, you don't want to be trying to apply for nurse residencies and then you're also trying to cram in resume critiques and trying to get everything together. So that's why I said, if you can, definitely start early with the resume. But as far as the residency process, the applications will open. You will apply, or, students will typically apply for the residency program of their choice. And so there will be required documentation, just to name a few, your resume. Some of them require a letter of interest. Some of them also require like letters of recommendation. It really just depends. You have to be BLS certified, so basic life support certification through the American Heart Association, which automatically you will receive that once you actually do your certifications and licenses and things like that. And then also you will need like your transcripts, just basic information like that. After you apply, wait to see if you've been accepted to get an interview. If you don't get an interview, it's okay. Okay. I've had some students where they've gotten rejections, and it's tough. You're going into a competitive field. And one thing they're not going to tell you is that the field is it's competitive, but you're not just competing with TWU students. You're competing with other students in the area as well. And so it's very competitive. And so if you don't get an interview, it's okay. But after you complete that and you go through that process, you wait and to see if you'll get an interview. You'll go through that interview process, and then from there they will provide you with a let you know whether or not you've been accepted into the residency program. And then from there you will do your paperwork and everything. And some of the residency programs can be 12 months, some of them can be 15 months. It really just depends on the hospital and what their program requirements are. And so then from there, it typically will take you into a job. Like that position can eventually lead into a full-time position if need be.
Okay, thank you so much for answering all these questions, and thank you so much for coming in general.
You're welcome. And if you guys need any additional assistance, Bailey, you can give them my contact information. You can give them my email address. You guys, if you haven't done so already, I really encourage you, if you have any career development questions, you can contact your career consultant that's on the Denton campus, which for some of you, it could be Chrissy Meeks. I don't know if you guys have met with her, but she will be your consultant. But if and when you transfer to nursing school, I'm the consultant on the Houston campus, and then Trevor McCray is the Dallas consultant. So 2 different people, but we typically service the same population of students, as well as provide the resources and help you all with the same things.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Did you guys have any other questions?
Well, thank you. That was a great presentation.
Yes.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, if you guys need me, Bailey has my information. Feel free to reach out. I typically, depending on what I'm doing, I do presentations with the nursing department. So you guys will probably see me, as well as partnering with the different organizations on the Houston campus, Dallas campus. And so if you guys need anything, you definitely can feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much.
All right. You guys have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so our social media is on Twitter, it's at TWNSCS, and on Instagram, it's at TW.NSCS. Please make sure to follow to be updated and also to see the pretty pictures that presents NSCS. Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. If y'all have any questions, you can go ahead and group me us using the link in bio, and you can ask your questions within the group chat. And then you can also email us at tw.nscs@gmail.com.